it will ruin everything around you, and it will break your family who's done everything they can to raise you.
He knew his sophomore year in college that he was addicted.
And it's here in Eden Prairie. This started in Eden Prairie. The drugs started here.
One time is too many, and one time can be the end of everything.
We ended up losing our house. We lost the business.
He bought $10 worth of heroin, and that's what killed him.
My name is Greg Weber. I'm with the Eden Prairie Police Department, and we've got two families that are willing to share their story of their sons who unfortunately overdosed on opioids and passed away. The stories you're going to hear are from the families of Andrew Princev and Andy Johnson.
Andy was a very fun-loving, happy, red hair, blue eyes.
And as we grew up across the street, we were at each other's house every day. Became best friends ever since.
People, what they really loved about Andy is his loyalty.
That was probably the best trait. He literally was there through any situation. There hasn't been somebody that I've felt come across my life as loyal as Andy was.
Andrew was a sweet, sweet child. People loved him. I loved him. His brother loved him. We all loved him. He loved life. He loved people. He was so social.
Kind of start life and you start getting medicated, but then when it really escalated was when he injured his shoulder in high school, and then in college he had 3 shoulder surgeries within 18 months.
And that's when he got on the Oxycontin.
As the surgeries came and the addiction came with it, a lot of it came prescribed. It takes just one time, and one time can be your forever.
Andrew started with marijuana. They were at parties and this bowl would be passed around with all different colored pills. And then he actually had friends who were into heroin.
Told his father that he was addicted to pain pills and didn't know what to do, and from there the cheaper, more easily accessible drug was heroin. That was the turning point, actually the point of no return.
And that is when his life basically turned upside down.
Mine came from injuries that happened in college playing basketball, and I got the help before Andy passed, and that's something that sits with me. If there could have been a chance for me to do something maybe just different.
Andy went to 4 inpatient treatment centers before he passed away. I think he felt like once he was on heroin that it was just like a chokehold on him, and he just couldn't seem to beat it. His path to addiction was a difficult one, and it's one, unfortunately, that he couldn't overcome. He wanted to overcome it.
My name is TJ Henderson. I'm a police officer with the Eden Prairie Police Department, and I'm a school resource officer at Eden Prairie High School. You may be asking yourself how to prevent yourself or another friend from becoming a victim. Andrew started his drug addiction smoking pot. That led to him hanging out with a whole other group of people that introduced him to heroin.
You know, Andy died of an heroin overdose, and I think that it's a misnomer to think that an overdose is an amount. Andy wanted $10 to go to McDonald's with his friend, and his friend was picking him up. And he was gone about an hour and a half, and he came back, and he bought $10 worth of heroin, and that's what killed him.
I don't know how long he had been using heroin. His friends tell me maybe it was the second time he had used heroin. However many times. The last time he used it, it killed him. He died in our bathroom. My youngest son found him. in the morning, stopped breathing.
I kept thinking he's gonna make it through. He's overdosed many times. He's been in intensive care. Said all these things. Sure, he's gonna make it through. And all we could think of is, when we realized that he had passed, is we just wanted to hold on to who he was. This great, funny, athletic kid. He wasn't that body laying there. He was,
Yeah, he was gone. And it was just so hard to think that he was gone. It's just in a snap second, one mistake, and we've got a child that overdoses and passes away.
I met Andy's parents, Garth and Deborah, on June 10th, 2013, the day on which Andy died. Garth asked that I try and remember his son as he was, not how he died.
To understand that whatever you consume, either by taking orally or smoking or injecting, there is always going to be a consequence for it. And one time can alter you forever. It could totally change your course of life. Life-threatening. It's really a life-threatening drug.
If you're with somebody and they're overdosing, please call 911 right away. Get help there, help them save their lives. You will not get in trouble if you call 911 to help your friend. Once help arrives, we're able to administer a drug that counteracts the overdose.
Here in Eden Prairie, the police department and the fire department all carry a product called Naloxone, which is a nasal inhalant that reverses the effects of an opioid overdose.
He couldn't just stop. It's not willpower. It's an illness.
And it is a disease, and that's what people need to understand. It's no different than cancer or being an alcoholic. It's a disease.
I think it's important that we remember that addiction is not a moral failure. There's a genetic predisposition. These individuals were wonderful human beings that did not choose this. It happened to them.
Now here we are, left without the people we love.
What I would tell students is you can get addicted after trying it once.
I think the drugs are just so strong that it takes more than willpower. And I saw that with Andrew.
Just because the doctor prescribes things doesn't mean that it's okay. Your lives are too important to take that risk. It can just end everything.
If you're scheduled to have surgery for wisdom teeth removal or for a broken bone, talk with your parents and your doctor to try and figure out if there's another way you can manage your pain. If you have an addiction or you know somebody that has an addiction, please get them help. Easiest way to get them help is to talk to somebody. Talk to somebody that you know, talk to a family member, talk to friends, talk to teachers, talk to me or one of the other school resource officers at the school.
Don't ever be ashamed to ask for help, because if you get professional help, it might save your life or your friend's life.
What a lot of people need to understand about Andy and many kids is that Andy was the most normal, just like every single one of us. This can happen to anybody. He didn't want to be where he was at. He sought help. The hardest part was to watch him know that his body needed it more than he could get away from it, and that is really what point it got to for him. To see someone like Andy want help, but his body couldn't keep up, breaks you. For the students that are out there, one time is too many. And one time can be the end of everything.
And the loss is horrible, but at the same time, sitting here talking today might save a life. We want to turn our loss into something positive for other kids. Saving a life, that's what we're here for. That's our goal today.
If there was one thing I could say, I just wish I could say I'm sorry. I'm sorry he wasn't able to overcome the battle, and I felt that I could have maybe done something, because he didn't like the suffering that he went through and if he could change that for one more individual or one more family, he would do that in a drop of a hat for anybody.
Every day in the United States, 115 individuals die from overdosing on opioids.
If you have a friend that's struggling with addiction issues, talk to someone, get them help. You could be saving their life.
Our son Andy Johnson was born on November 3rd, 1987, and he passed away at the age of 25 on June 10th, 2013.